Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is your first time here, my name is LoveKit. So in today's video I am doing a clean with me, more like a deep clean spring kind of edition thing. But I also wanted to talk about how depression really messes with me when it comes to keeping my house clean. So as you can see, I got a pile of dishes here. Most of my house is completely destroyed. I pretty much laid around for like a week. I took a week off from making videos and posting things just because I needed that mental break. So I knew when I came back, the first video I was going to do is the things that I do as soon as I come back from having a depressed moment. So I definitely make sure I get all my dishes done. This has always been one of those battles that I always have. Family of 4, and it seems like the dishes and the laundry are never done. No matter how hard I try, I literally can never get these dishes done. After I got the dishes done, I went ahead and I wiped off my countertops and everything. What's weird is like this washcloth that I'm using. It's got microfiber on one side and like a netting on the other. I got this from the dollar store. And whenever you have like that Teflon, like cooked on food onto your stove, this washcloth is absolutely amazing. So I'm trying to wipe down the bar now, and something about whenever I move over to the table, these kids guys, they are so messy. I love them to pieces. I literally have to scrub my table every single time. Then again, like I said, I had a moment of like a week of pure depression. So I don't know about you guys, but whenever I open up the window, like really get that natural sunlight coming into any of the rooms that I'm working on, I feel very motivated, and I also feel like I get so much work done. Something about the sunshine like really boosts me whenever I'm trying to get things done. After I wipe down everything, I move over to my laundry. Now, I'm a weird one. I put my laundry over top of the door of my dryer, and that way it makes it a lot easier for when I go to take it to my room. Instead of doing a pile of cluster, if you will, trying to take it to your room and dropping everything along the way. So I do it this way because it just makes it a lot easier. And if it sits in a basket for a day or so, clothes won't get wrinkly. I'm about to seriously make some people upset because I do not separate my laundry. We don't have a lot of things that are all white. Most of our things are dark, so we just kind of put everything together in the washing machine. And honestly, a family of 4, taking that time to separate clothes and stuff like that, it's a complete hassle. Next, I'm going to go ahead and sweep the floor and try to get everything cleaned up. Now, again, we don't pass judgment on this channel. I had a week of a bad spell, so the floor is a little dirty, to say the least. The amount of toys that are under my kitchen table is ridiculous. So I'm literally throwing those over the gate so that I can sweep up everything, get all the crumbs and stuff that has fallen from the kids. What you cannot see here is from where my kids have totally missed the trash can and the food literally landed on the floor. So I have to spray and scrub, trying to get up all the sauce and stuff from the food. Guys, kids, oh my gosh. So now I'm just getting up all the toys that are in the living room. Luckily my living room stays pretty clean for the most part. The main thing about my living room is toys that gets brought in here because the kids like to come into the living room. It's open for them to play in, and they got TV that they can watch, and I don't understand why they feel the need to come into the living room, but literally both of them bring majority of their toys into the living room. So I'm just spraying everything off, making sure it's all wiped down. I've got 2 cats, so I gotta make sure I get all the hair off of all of my furniture, so it's not creating a bunch of, hair that falls from whenever you open up the windows and you can see all the hair floating in the air. I can't stand that, so wiping everything down, trying to make sure it's all dusted off. And those boxes over there in the corner, we'll be buying a house soon, so we've been collecting boxes so that when we're actually ready to move, we have everything so we don't have to stress over it. And I don't know about y'all, but whenever I get to the vacuum part of any room, it's almost like it's already done. I just have to get the last little bit of stuff up. It's getting your carpet that actually has like the vacuum lines in it. It just gives it that much, like, it just feels 1,000 times better. So I had to finish working the next day. I got really burnt out from doing what I did. So we're going to start off in Liam's room. Liam's room was a total disaster. This is actually the second time I've given this room a very deep clean this week. So it was one of those things, like, I just had to really get it done, put away things that he doesn't need to get into right now. Like, I went ahead and I pulled out all the vehicles from this track kind of box, because we don't ever put the tracks together, to be honest with you. And when we actually do put them together, it lasts a whole 5 minutes, and the kids have taken the tracks apart. So I stopped put tracks and stuff like that together, but yet my family continues to buy it. After I told them that they don't really play with the tracks, they just want the cars that are in it. So just picking up all the toys and putting them where they belong. And when I was folding up all the laundry from previously doing all the laundry at once, I just put all of his clothes on the bed because he doesn't even sleep on the bed. He literally sleeps in my room. So just trying to put everything to get away, and that way everything's a little bit neater. Now we're going to go ahead and dust his room down. My main things that whenever I'm dusting in here is the window, the TV, the wardrobe, and then the table and chairs. I really don't wipe anything else down in here just because there's not really much to wipe. And I love the fact that it's so simple in this room. It's so easy to clean up, but a 4-year-old can do some damage when it comes to making it dirty. And if you're looking underneath the bed, this has literally all of his big toys that we cannot put inside of his toy box. And that's what really it is. Like, I don't know what it is about family buying toys that are so huge in such a small room. He does have the smallest room of the house, so it's really hard for me to find spaces. His closet is full, and now underneath his bed is pretty full, which I'm hoping that when we go to buy a house that we can really give him a good sized bedroom so he's got plenty of room for all of his toys and any type of activities he may want to do. Now that the vacuuming is done, we are going to put everything back to where it belongs, and then we're going to move on to the next. So the hallway is usually the catch-all area, and if you can hear my son, I apologize. My dogs keep barking, and I'm sure you can hear my son in the background trying to get them to stop. But gonna get this hallway completely cleaned up. Now we're moving on to my oldest son, Aiden's room. This room literally took me out. It doesn't look that messy here, but there is so many toys in like the crevices of his room. So this took me about 2 or 3 hours to completely clean. I threw out his chair, his little gaming chair there, because the cats have completely destroyed it. There's no point in hanging on to things that are broken, so just kind of pushing everything out of the way. And I'm not able to get everything up underneath the bed because I refuse to crawl up underneath his bed to grab everything. So that's going to be a good job for him. So I'm just getting all the little pieces of toys and the trash and everything piled up in one area so that it'll be a lot easier for me to look through it and put things back to where they belong. And if you notice that drawer that I just popped out, that's full of Nerf darts. This kid has 2 drawers that size full of Nerf darts. It's insane. So this little corner over here is literally the hardest place to keep clean. He, instead of putting things away the way they need to be, he just kind of pushes it over into this corner because he probably thinks as long as mom sees the floor, everything is great. Every kid has this philosophy when it comes to a clean room, but I decided to go in here and like really tackle this area and put all the toys where they belong, in the bins where they belong, or in the toy box. And I really love how smooth this actually was for me, because usually dumping out all the toys or cleaning everything up, it usually takes me an entire day to do. But luckily this only took me like 3 hours, so it wasn't as bad as what I would normally do. Granted, I did not do the toy box today, but I will have to do the toy box before we move, just to make sure we are not taking anything that is broken and something he does not play with. This kid plays with everything you see here. If he doesn't play with it, Liam does. So we try to hang on to all the toys that are being played with, and it's why we have so many. So now we move on to dusting this TV. As you can see, it's super high up. Actually, no, we're gonna go ahead and clean up his entertainment shelving. So I'm just kind of wiping everything off, or getting everything off of this shelving, and then I'm gonna wipe everything off. I'm trying to set this up where it's easy for him to keep organized, but hey, let's face it, he's 10 years old. Ain't nothing in this house gonna be organized in his room. So now we're moving over to dusting the TV. I was just a few seconds behind on that. And of course, because I'm 5'1", I definitely need a step ladder to be able to do the dusting on this TV, which is rather funny to me. So now we moved on to the actual cabinet itself. I got everything organized on top of the shelving. That way when he comes home, both of his controllers are completely charged up and he don't have to stress about making sure they are charged. So now we're going to move on to this little portion here, and this is a good place for his like games and stuff so he don't lose them. So that's what I'm going to try and do here, is just try to get everything completely organized so it looks nice and neat and he can just look and grab and leave the rest of it alone. Yeah, that's not going to happen. You know he's going to come in here and destroy every bit of this. But the attempt is there, guys. After I get all this completely organized, then it's time to open up these doors and find out what's going on behind them. I was actually surprised when I opened up these doors that it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. I figured he would have so much more stuff in this cabinet than what it actually was, but all he had was just a few flashcards that were all over the place and then some books. So I was actually very impressed by how neat this actually was. So went ahead, organized it, wiped it down a little bit, and put things back where it would look a little bit more neater, and that's all I did in here. Next we move on to vacuuming, and then I'm going to be making the bed. Something about this room when it's vacuumed, it looks so nice. And yes, like I said, under the bed, I ain't touching it. He can crawl up under there and get all that stuff out and organize it the way it needs to be organized. But I'm just trying to make sure I get up all the little pieces off the floor. And I was so happy with how quick this room actually was to clean it, even though it did say it took about 3 hours. But I was very impressed with it. Now we're going to go ahead and make his bed. He got some new comforter and a pillowcase for Christmas. So I was trying to surprise him with that. And of course I had to wash his sheets for him, so I had to use a different color sheet. Mom world, y'all know what it is like. So that's going to be it for this video. And thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.